Okay, so I finished the fuel line and I have absolutely no leaks. I did have like a small leak, and it wasn't actually a leak. It was just like a slight dribble, and it wasn't coming from the fuel lines. It was coming from the filter. So from the filter to the Russel fitting, it had nothing to do with the evil energy. Like I hooked everything up and I checked all the lines, and there's not a dribble whatsoever coming from the evil energy, or not the evil, I mean the Aoosedo fuel line. So the Aoosedo fuel line had no leaks whatsoever, like not even a drop. But what I did was I went underneath the car and tightened the filter, and it completely stopped the leak, because it just needed to be tightened just a little bit more. And as you can see, my gas gauge is working. Here, I'll turn it off. See, my gas gauge is working perfect. It's so basically, but I spilled, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a gallon on the ground when I put the fuel into the E85 into the car. I probably spilled close to a quarter of a gallon. Then you have to figure the car was dry, so it had to fill up the fuel assembly unit. Then it had to fill up the lines. Then it had to fill up the fuel rail. So the gas gauge. So I put 5 gallons of fuel in it. So by the time everything came out, it's probably close to 4 gallons, which is on the gas gauge. That's absolutely like perfect, because 4 gallons is going to give you right under half a tank. 5 gallons is going to give you half a tank right on the dot, and then 10 gallons is going to give you a full tank, and then you got 0.8, which is almost a gallon of reserve fuel on this tank. Every tank's different. I think the RSX has like a 2-gallon reserve. This one has 0.8, so almost a full gallon of reserve gas. So you just have to keep it in mind on when you're running the CRZ fuel tank. If you're on E or whatever, that means you have less than a gallon of gas. So you just have to keep that in mind. And then the RSX, you have 2 gallons. And I know, because I had this car since, I don't know, I've had this car like decades, since my kids were little. So I know how much reserve the RSX fuel, the fuel tank holds. And yeah, this car is less than a gallon. So when you hit the E, when the light goes on, you're like, okay, I need to get to the gas station, which I shouldn't be doing that, but I'm just bad about that. Okay, I'll show you the back, because I just got to seal it up. Alrighty. So yeah, I have to, because I was checking it for leaks. I didn't put the cover back on. So since this isn't leaking and everything's good with it and that's hooked up, I'm just gonna silicone this and put it on there, and then I should be good. I'll show you where the leak was coming from underneath the car. Let me get my light. I should have had this light ready to go. Okay. Here we go. All my tools and stuff. So yeah, if you get under here, the fuel leak wasn't coming from this side. It was coming from the back end, and it was just coming from this blue or purple fitting right here, and I just had to tighten it. So it was just a dribble right here. These Aoosedo fuel lines, no leak whatsoever. The first time, I didn't even have to retighten anything, but the very first time, they worked. So I'm not a fan of using Chinese parts, but they worked, and I'm really happy with it. So I don't have the exhaust on, but I'll show you. The car started up the first time, and I rebuilt the engine on it with new piston rings and all that. But I'll show you real quick. Prime the fuel pump, and then starts up. O2 sensor's not even hooked up, because I have no, oh, there we go. Yeah, I have no exhaust on there, so there's no way to hook up the O2 sensor. But yeah, that just goes to show you, we're in business now. Once I have the exhaust hooked up, this thing's gonna be going, and I'll make videos. I'll still continue to make some videos, because I'm always doing car related stuff. But this car, oh yeah, so I have K Pro V3, and I need to upgrade, because when you run E85, you have to run an E85 sensor. So I've had the sensor for like 3 years in my closet. So that's the next thing I'm gonna do, upgrade to K Pro V4, and then I should be good. All right, so tune in the next video. Bye.